Varihantanam,
Namo Varihantanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Siddhanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Ayariyanam,
Namo Vajjayanam,
Namo Vajjayanam,
Namo Loe Sava Samunam,
Namo Loe Sava Samunam,
Eso Panchanamukkaro,
Eso Panchanamukkaro,
Sava Bhava Panasano,
Sarvapava Panasano,
Mangalanam Cha Sarvesim,
Mangalanam Cha Sarvesim,
Padamam Havai Mangala,
Paramam Bhavai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
Om Namah Shivaya,
Om Namah Shivaya,
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Satchidanand.
Why can't you come a little closer? One of the reason for our success or failure, rather the major reason of our success or failure is our pap and punya. Do you all know that? આપણા સફળતા કે નિષ્ફળતા માટે પાપ કે પુણ્ય responsible હોય. But if you go further, any work you do, let's say driving or any walking, certain time we just hit with certain thing. What is the reason? If others can see, why couldn't we see? But does that happen?
We don't have anybody in another class, so can we maybe make one English speaking class and one Gujarati speaking class? Can I take half of the team over there?
I don't manage. So
But
whatever
then
you
I
find
spread
good
this
for
out.
management, viewpoint you can do.
But no English, but no speaker. I just don't know how to break it up. I just need to see
No, but who is that?
SaileshAnandji.
There is no problem.
Yeah?
So,
Okay, so
What are we doing?
if,
Sorry.
if there is only English speaking there, or only Gujarati speaking, then you will have problem. Like if DeepakAnandji is there, then you will have problem.
No, but
Then you have to shift over.
there's
But
nobody
here,
there, so however we want to.
nobody there means
I have zero Mahatmas.
અમે ગુજરાતી
There
no Mahatmas there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I have no students there.
Oh, I see.
ઓકે ચાલ
ગુજરાતી ત્યાં ચાલુ રાખો અહીંયા ઇંગ્લિશ ચાલુ બરોબર અહીંયા ઇંગ્લિશ બધા બે લોકલ કમાર બધા ઇંગ્લિશમાં તકલીફ
So one of the major reason of our failure is we are not able to focus ourselves fully. Do you understand that? That doesn't normally happen with us. But whenever we are like lost means distracted. We are not able to focus what we are doing, and in those situations we miserably fail. What it means, let's say I'm driving. What is my duty while I'm driving? Everyone knows about that. be watching the road, speed, tags, the traffic, the lane. I drive. But if I get distracted, maybe by a phone or my own inner thought, it is possible. Then I am not really right. I am not there. He is not disturbing me. But by disturbing him, he will definitely disturb us. So just leave him alone. The both आए थे, है ना? Like that. So that's one. And reasons for distraction you have to find out yourself. We have to understand the importance of what we are doing now. Then only we can remain well focused. And there are enough reasons to get distracted, especially phone. It can happen. I have seen people texting while they are driving. Many of you guys also may be doing it. Anyway, the laws are different in California, different states, laws are different. But this is what we are trying to say. Whenever we are not well focused while what we are doing, then there are every chances of failure. And all these prayers and so-called spiritual stuff help us regain that focus in our life. So whenever, whatever we are doing, we can make the best out of it. We can make the best out of it. Let's say there is some family problem and you are working. So is it possible that you are not able to focus in your work? Yes, possible. So all these things. Now, what is important? You are not in the problem now. You are at work or you are doing something else. It's like if you are with your family or if you are with your maybe son or whoever who is not well, it's fine for you to be there. But when you are somewhere else, then you cannot afford to bring those things over there. For which you have to make yourself, prepare yourself. And your mindset is important that now you are here, so you need to focus over here. It is not important, those things are not important now because you are not facing the problem now. You are at work, you are expected to work now. Does that happen? It definitely happens.
So how are we to prepare ourselves?
Yes, preparing yourself by a prayer. There are so many reasons of distraction. But when you pray and decide yourself that you will remain well focused on your work, then every time you get distracted, it will bring a bell inside and it will bring you back. It's like you are making a decision for your own self in the form of a prayer, and you are asking for the inner strength from Dada that okay, please help me remain well focused when I am doing this. And what are you going to do? Let's say if you are doing regular prayers, then you say, I will focus myself in reading the words, what I am doing. Like when you are driving, you say, you will focus only on driving. At work, while you are studying at home, that way you can do your prayers accordingly. It will definitely help you remain well focused and get the maximum out of that particular time you are spending it for that work. So it's like you work with highest efficiency. Highest efficiency.
What if you work with people that are not as efficient and they're very distracted? Or how do you?
But that is going to distract their work.
Yeah, and they like want
Disturb.
to talk to you about everything. Like this, you have to conversate with them, right? So,
Right. It is possible. Some people are like that.
very
Yes.
chill.
So maybe you give them time. I'm doing some important work. So if they are just coming to talk, then I don't think so. That you can definitely manage. So I think you can definitely tell them that, okay, this is the time, I'm doing some important work. Whatever is your problem, we can handle after half an hour, 1 hour, or after lunch, something like that. You can give them time. At times, if you are doing some important work where you need good amount of focus, then you have to have that. Ratu, you can come closer. This side, there are seats available. Ayushi. Otherwise, are you able to listen? That's what. You can come closer. There are seats available here. So, okay, it is very important, very important. I always choose a seat such that I won't get distracted, I will listen properly, and even while sitting in satsang like this, there are so many distractions. Phones, I see people keeping their phones on. I fail to understand what is the important. You have to choose and make a decision and can remain well focused. This is the only opportunity you have, basically. So this is how you can prepare yourself to live a well focused life. So wherever you are into it, you will get the maximum out of what you are doing now. Normally this thing doesn't happen. You are well focused, but in certain situations such a thing happens and you are not able to make the best out of that situation. Or rather, that becomes the reason or cause for your failure.
But the thoughts keep on coming in the mind, right? Now when you're at work, you're doing something and that process just keeps on going. How do you wean away from that for a short period of time so that you can focus on your work?
Let's say, normally, wherever you are, our mind automatically adjusts to that situation, and normally you will be well within the boundary. So you won't get any other thoughts normally. But when there is some distraction, understand the science behind thought is wherever our reflective consciousness goes, then you will start thinking about that. It's like sitting here, you think your chit, reflective consciousness, goes to Chicago, you will start thinking about those things. So, although you are present here, but because your chit has gone there, you will start thinking about Chicago. Whatever and wherever your chit goes, wherever your consciousness is, you start thinking about, you start getting those thoughts. So this is the principle. So when you say you want to remain well focused, which is normally there, but due to certain reasons, it is not there. And when you do certain kind of work or certain kind of, let's say people who play a lot of games, then at times it is possible they are not able to focus very well. Television is also a cause of distraction. It cannot help you remain well focused.
What do you generally do, like you personally do when you are doing some task? And do you do some video or something that makes sure that you are...
Yes, like what I did the video before sitting here. It helps. Definitely it helps. Ultimately, in presence of all distractions, you have to remain well focused. So one of the distractions in our life is where somebody challenges you. So it's like your ego just sprouts, just pops up and takes that challenge and you want to fight out. You understand that?
Yeah.
That is where you will come out of Knot. You will come out of the boundaries of Knot. Understand? It happened with Lord Krishna, it happened with Lord Mahavira, it happened with every big person. It happens with everyone. So even after this realization, you know that you want to remain well focused as pure soul. So you want to remain as perceiver, observer of what's happening. But then the thing comes up and you want to fight out. So what is that? So in every situation of our life, we come across such situations where our ego is challenged. And you take that challenge. Your intellect accepts the challenge and I'll show you. That is where we come out of the boundaries of knowledge. That is wisdom. And that is where you have to be very careful and alert. Never let that, your mind or your intellect accept the challenge and take the fight. It happened with Lord Krishna several times. But he always remained in his inner balance, inner wisdom, and took balanced decision. While you are affected and when your ego is hurt, that time the decisions won't be proper. In fact, during those moments, you should not think about any serious matter. Just leave it aside for a while. Otherwise, any decision during those moments won't be proper, appropriate. It will be taken in a very negative way. Then what had happened with Lord Mahavira? He is the Lord of the angels, Indra. Lord Indra, he praised Mahavira that, in the human form, he is great, he is invincible, nobody can challenge him, nobody can really, he is Mahavir. So, one of the angel thought, it's always like that. Humans, and how can they be powerful? Powerful than us like angels? Impossible. Let me test. So it's like whenever you have some connection, only then certain thing pops up. So that angel goes to Lord Mahavira where he was meditating. And then, see, meditation is such, our inner state of total alertness, that anything happens, what we mean, any happening is always known, gets known. So known in his divine vision. So he immediately comes to know that, our rival is coming. So it is coming for settlement. Let him come. So in all this situation, what happens? He tries to hurt him, distract him. So it's like he is trying to instigate Lord Mahavira so that he comes and fight. But he doesn't do. He doesn't respond at all. He remains in his perceiving state only what he is doing and what is being affected on my body. That's it. Finally, he just gives up and he goes away. So then, while going, he says, okay, I accept that you are really great. Then Lord Mahavira doesn't tell him on his face, but from inside. That's what Dada said, that I am Mahavira by my own nature and my own effort. I don't need anybody's ruling that.
But sometimes the sense of competition can encourage you to even
focus even more on your task and to be like the best you can. Sometimes when you feel like someone's competing with you to be the best at something, it can help you focus even more.
It is a different thing. That is a different thing. But okay, it is like, what is that level of competition you are thinking about? Does it have to do in the education field? Which one?
I don't know, anything.
See, one thing is there, because in this competitive world today, everybody wants to be number one. That is the biggest psychology of the world today. Because it is only number one who is recognized, identified, praised, gifted. That is it. So what if you come number two? And just imagine, you do come number one, but it is for that particular competition only. What about the rest? Can you become number one forever? So it's like one-time medal and you have to satisfy yourself that yes, I did achieve that. But that is not going to remain long. You understand? So never mind if you want to compete and get the medal, it's fine. But ultimately, what are you going to gain? I am not trying to discourage you. But this is what you have to think finally. Just to get that medal, they may work for 10 years, maybe 5 years, very hard work. That's good. You get the medal also. Like I see, any of these kids, if you go to their room, the whole room is filled with medals and trophies, right? You see that, very common. And now that they are married and they have gone home, and the room is still having all those what do you call it, bears and all that things are still there, with which they play, and the trophies, those medals, those certificates, they're still there. So it is good that you performed at that time, nothing wrong. But you have to understand that what are you really achieving after that. If you can, if you want and you can, it's good. You understand that? And that's true, it will help you remain focused. That is also good. But then, finally, you want something which will remain for you for a long time, maybe forever. So, while competing and working for such short-term achievements, you have to simultaneously work for the long-term achievement also. It is okay, what you said is correct. When you have a competitor, then it helps you remain better focused. That's true. महेश भाई बोला है ना?
How do you focus your cheek? You're saying that when your cheek goes somewhere else, then you start thinking on that. How do you focus your cheek more?
Let's say I'm singing and reading from the book. Then, even while reading from the book, people can commit mistakes. Is it possible? Now tell me, how is it possible? You are reading from the book is there in front of you, so you are not looking into the book. Although you are, I'll say, staring at the book, but you are not looking at the book. Those words, you are missing the lines. How can you do that? Do you see that while even in the satsang sometimes? That's right. So, okay, we have to count 40 times. Does it happen that you just miss the count? to come to that perfection, that every time you reach perfect 40 and go further, it's a real task. Real task in the sense how well you have focused and you are into it. It will happen, not otherwise. Otherwise, even if you have to say 3 mantra 5 times, you may say 6 times, you may say 4 times. Is it possible? So you have to find a way out so that you come. So that will help you remain focused and do that job perfectly. Okay. And every task or every work has some arrangement you need, some adjustment, so that you remain well focused. And it's like, so Dada used to give an example that you are walking on a very narrow road, both sides there is deep valley, and you have to walk. Even if someone tried to distract you, you will not pay attention to that. Okay? That is called focus. But then, in that situation, it remains automatically. So when you know the consequence of the distraction, naturally that will reduce automatically. Very good.
DeepakAnandji, you were talking about Pap and Punya. You're talking about Pap and Punya in the start, right? Now, is it possible that just because of your previous bad karmas, that this time when you are trying to do something good, it just won't work? It just won't happen.
Yes.
How do you overcome that?
That's where Dada has given us 3 mantra for. We have to do 3 mantra. And those people who have some problems, then they have to do that more. So it is possible that it is your previous account is not good, but then it will help you ease out today. And it does help you. No doubt about it. But it's like, that there are chances or you're not doing good. But this thing what Dada has given us, we don't do that. Not the regular ones also. Like every day you have to do the 5 times in the morning, 5 times before going to bed. At least those things, because we are in Vyavhar, you are living a householder life, there are so many obstacles day-to-day basis. So if you keep that as a practice, it will really ease out your life. And you can experience that also. I know somehow during the day we end up saying several times. And you know what Dada Bhagwan used to do in all his free time? See, if you don't, just let your mind free, then it just moves around randomly. So what he used to do, so that he remains well focused, any free time, now he knows that he cannot do anything important or useful. And like, let's say you're waiting for a train, you're waiting for a plane, and you have time. So he'll just close his eyes and start reading 3 mantra. That is a very good thing. So you get the benefit of staying well focused. At the same time, the 3 mantra will help you remove your obstacles. And your mind is such, you have to keep it busy. So by doing such prayers, people start reading something, then that is also good. But just seeing people around or just gazing around, it really waste of time. You can make the best. So some people immediately remove that stuff and start listening to music, or what I do, I start listening to bird or such sound. What you need is keep your mind busy so that it always thinks in proper direction. Channelize your mental power.
Okay. So for me, it's a lot of it's like just understanding like my mistakes has been like the biggest like aha moment for me.
Huh?
Aha, like you know, like I say aha.
Okay,
What is it?
understand it.
Realize. When you
Okay.
realize like that's like for me, it's been that's how I experienced the satsang, like Nan, and I understand how like physically that's by hurting somebody that's a mistake. Verbally, if you say something that's a mistake, but how is the mental when your thoughts? How is that a mistake? How is it reaching the other person when the other person is unaware of the thought? Is it
And
then
unaware of your thoughts.
right? So how is that a mistake?
See,
So is it coming into your own actions? That's
no, not only your actions. It is like when you think negative about any person, then those thoughts, they reach the person.
how is that?
Okay, when I'm thinking about you, and I have any negative thoughts about you, it will definitely go, it won't go anywhere else. It's like when I send an email with your address, it has to go to you, it cannot go to someone else. I'm thinking about you, and for you I'm having that particular, it has to reach you. So the mind aspect is such, whatever I think, it just reaches the other person. Let that person be any. And the effect of that is what? If it is negative, then I won't experience oneness when I happen to meet that person. Maybe after a while, after a year or even more time. That is why you need to correct yourself.
So do those
And
thoughts?
also if you try to find out, you investigate why are you getting those kind of thoughts for that person. Maybe something bad has happened. Definitely, or if the person has done something. But as per the science, we know that nobody is doing anything. Everything just happens. Okay. So, just imagine, when the kids are there, the small kids, when they look at each other and all that, just think what they may be thinking about that situation or individual. Their mind is not fully grown, that we accept. But then, to the best of our understanding, because we have not gone into their mind, but we can feel, because whatever is your kind of thought, it gets expressed on your face. If you are thinking negative, even if you're thinking negative, then something that those expressions will come on your face, your eyes. It does come. So normally, if you look at the kids, they're always like smiling. Even when they cry, you take their photograph, they look so good. Right? But if we take and someone takes our photograph, then they come different. We always say, take a good photograph, but then what do you call as good photograph? You understand? So our thinking always gets reflected on our face, and eventually it comes on our action or speech level. But here we have to understand that we have to make our mind like that finally, because we are dumped with opinions about people, about situations. And when we come to know about any individual,